You're sitting on your block. And then sitting nice and tall, you feel your banders, your pelvic floor, navel to spine, close your eyes. And then inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. And then starting to draw your attention inwards. Following the breath. And then starting to lengthen the breath so that you start to count. So your inhale will be to the count of 5. Your exhale to the count of 7. And if your thoughts are wandering, just bringing your attention back to the counting of the breath. Okay, and then at the bottom of the next exhalation, lowering your head and blinking your eyes open. And then keeping your chin down, drawing it towards your chest. Soften shoulders away from ears, and then you're just going to draw the chin in semicircles, really rolling up the ear over the shoulder and back down, just stretching through the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Okay, then coming back to center, you'll bring your left palm down. Keep your hips balanced on the block, so we're not going to lift the right hip up. You're going to sweep the right arm over, bend the left elbow and reach. So stack the shoulders, draw the hips level so you feel that stretch out of the right side of the body, and then change sides. And keep moving with your breath. Inhale to come up, exhale to change. And then come back to center. Big shrugs of the shoulders in one direction and back the other way. Then left arm lifting up, touch fingertips to the shoulder blade, and then opposite arm, draw that elbow back, but almost rolling the tricep towards your cheek, and then drawing the hand down your back. And then exhale, release, bring the arm across, keeping your chest facing forward, but feel as if you're drawing the arm across the body, so you're stretching that shoulder. And release, opposite side. Keep the core engaged, pelvic floor lifting. So again, this sequence, this next, or this 6-week block is bandhas and breath. So it's paying attention to our breath, drawing your attention back to it when you feel you might be getting out of puff or losing focus, and then bring the arm across. And your bandhas are the locks in your body in yoga. So it's the pelvic floor is your Mula Bandha. So other arm, Caroline. Yeah. So just reach the arm across and drop. That's it. And release. Yeah. So the root lock, the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, that's to start drawing the energy up, and then the solar plexus, or when I say navel to spine, that's Uddiyana Bandha, or the solar plexus lock. So again, the energy, it's like trapping this energy inwards. So you can feel more strength when you're engaging your bandhas. And then the Jalandhara Bandha is the chin down. So it's holding the energy inwards, but we don't often do that one so much. But okay, come on to, or off your block, sit on your bottom. We'll do a hip stretch. So cross the legs, but you don't want to cross at the ankles. You want to move your feet apart, cross at the shins, so deep cross of the lower leg, and then flex your toes. So flex your ankles, draw your toes towards each other, and then take your hips back. So the front shin should be knee and ankle parallel to the front edge of the mat. Sorry, sit up tall. Reach your arms, draw up through your Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, rock forward. So you're hinging forwards. And then start to slide your hands away as you curl inwards with the core. And then pressing the hands down as if you're dragging your hands back towards your body. You're trying to draw yourself over the front of your shins. Feel that hip stretch. And then walking hands back. Lean back, cross the opposite shin in front. Flex the feet. So it's like you're pressing down through the outside edge of the feet. Make sure that front shin, ankle and knee are parallel. Lifting up, draw up through the bandhas, rock forward, slide the hands away. It doesn't matter how far you go into this, you're trying to feel particularly a stretch in the hip of the front leg. You want to press down through the outside edge of the feet and draw your pelvis, the top of the pelvis forward. Then walk your hands back. We could do a twist. So bringing left heel to the outside of the right buttock. So you want both butt cheeks on the mat, and then bring the opposite foot over. So if that's too difficult and you feel you're over twisting, then just bring the foot against the shin. So just modifying for your own hips. Hold on to the front shin, lift up tall, press through your sitting bones, draw up through the bandhas, and then your left arm is going to hook the knee, and then revolve. So you're turning your chest towards the bent thigh, right hand behind you, turn your head, and keep hugging that knee in. So you should feel a good stretch in the glute, the outside of the hip. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, change to the other side. Lift yourself up, so don't ever twist while you're slumped. So we want to turn from the navel and feel that revolving spine rather than spiraling spine, rather than a little crunch in the upper back or even just the neck. So draw yourself up tall, hug right arm around the knee, draw that knee in, left hand behind you, exhale, squeeze the core, look behind you, shoulders away from ears. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release, come onto your hands and knees. And I walked into a cupboard. My kneecap is so sore. I'll do that. By the way, if ever you have knee issues, sometimes it's well, often very helpful that you'll have a towel or a cushion and you just put your shin on it so your knee is free, so that then you can lunge and all sorts without the kneecap being on the ground. So if you have sensitive kneecaps, that's a good tip. So we're in tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Press the floor away. So you want to spread the shoulder blades and spread your fingers, index finger points directly forward, and then press the knuckles and the finger pads down. And then you're going to take the right leg back, straight back. So internal rotation of the thigh, toes point down. Pause for a moment. We're waking up our hip flexors. And draw your banders in, pelvic floor, navel to spine. And then curl knee to nose, round through the upper back. So push the floor away with your palms, spread your shoulder blades. Exhale, take the leg straight back. So you don't want the heel any higher than the hip. And now reach the left arm forward. And pause. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. Inhale, left leg goes back and flex at the ankle. So like you're stamping on the wall behind you. So you want tone in the whole of that leg. Press the floor away with your palms, gently spread the shoulder blades. And lift through the back of the head. So you want to feel that the head isn't dangling, the neck is strong. And then curl knee to nose. And then take the leg straight back. And you're going to reach the right arm forward. And then exhale, tabletop. And then come down into Sphinx. Elbows under shoulders, forearms parallel with the palms down. Tops of the feet press down. So your kneecaps lift. Gently press the pubic bone down. So using your glutes, your buttocks. And then push through the elbows. Drag the energy of the elbows towards your hips as you draw your chest between your arms. And then draw your chin down so the neck is long. So strengthening the muscles in the back of the body. And then exhale to locust. So take the feet apart a little, arms by your side. Inhale, lift the palms up to the ceiling. So arms lift, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your legs. Gaze is down. Keep the breath steady. And then exhale, palms beside rib cage. Tuck your toes under, lifting up into downward dog. And walk your dog, so slowly paddling one heel, then the other, bending the knees. Feeling into the calves. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and slowly unfurling to stand. Okay, come to the front of the mat, standing in mountain. The mountain pose, you want to feel all four corners of the feet pressing down. Feel that connection to your earth. If you've got socks on, take them off. Lift your toes, spread them, place them down, and then feel the energy traveling up. So kneecaps lift, feel the thighs engage, Mula Bandha, root lock, Uddiyana Bandha, chest lifts, but you feel the core engaging, so it's drawing the ribs back slightly, and then relaxing the shoulders, your drishti, your soft focus straight ahead. And then we're going to do our half salutes. Inhale, palms to touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold. So if you can't keep your legs straight to touch the ground, bend your knees, relax your head. Inhale to halfway lift. So straight legs, straight arms, palms into shins, and turn your tailbone up. Gaze is up. So you feel the hamstrings here. And then exhale, fold again. Then inhale, squeeze your thighs, straighten the legs, hinging upwards, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, palms to touch. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart and stand in mountain. So again, feeling that energy of alignment lifting up. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salute A. Inhale, palms to touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Look up, tailbone up. Exhale, bend your knees, palms down, step back for chaturanga, low press up. So rocking forward, bend the elbows. If you need to drop your knees behind your hips. And then inhale to cobra. So hands should be beside ribs. Hug the elbows in, tops of the feet press down. Press your hips down and slowly draw the chest forward. So you don't have to come high. We're not coming to straight arms. Exhale, lowering down, tuck your toes, come up into down dog. So feeling into the length of your dog, it can be whatever length you want, but it's not so important to get the heels on the ground, it's to get the spine straight. You want to be in a position where your ears are between your arms, so the head isn't just dangling or the chin lifted, but where you can turn the tailbone up and get the back nice and straight. Might mean you need to bend your knees slightly. And now inhale, come up on your toes, bend your knees deeply, look forward, and then step forward to halfway lift. Looking up, tailbone up, feel into the hamstrings, exhale, fold. Then inhale all the way up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart, stand in mountain. We can do one more. From mountain, inhale, palms to touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look up, tailbone up. So it's a flat back, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Then exhale to chaturanga, low press up. So walking back, rock forward so shoulders are over wrists. Bend the elbows as you hug them in and lower to the mat. Inhale to cobra, low cobra, so hug the elbows in, draw them down to your waist. And then exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, coming into down dog. 3 breaths. And then inhale up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Step forward to halfway lift. Look up, tailbone up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart, stand in mountain. So this, the theme is bandhas and breath. So when I'm calling the breath, it's for the movement. It doesn't mean that's the only time you can breathe, but just so you know, But generally it's an upward movement, and inhale, exhale is a down, or a strong movement might be an exhale. But anyway, I call it. But as long as you're concentrating on the breath, and if you start to feel lightheaded, or then you can come into down dog or child's pose if you feel that you need to take a break. But the breath, steadying the breath, drawing it in deep is the most important thing, and then the poses flow a little easier. So, and also we're doing the same this whole 6 weeks, we're doing the same sequence. And the thing with this is, one is that we haven't done it before. I don't normally repeat, but sometimes it's a good thing to repeat, because you can then focus more on your breath than trying to hear where I'm going next with things. So you'll get used to this little sequence that comes next, so that you can focus more on how you're breathing. Okay. So inhale to chair pose. So draw the arms forward and up, sit down and draw the knees back slightly. You want neutral hips, so not tucking under, not sticking out. But feeling the power of the legs is to hug the shins towards each other. Feel your inner thighs light up, so they stay parallel, and then turn your gaze, so your gaze drishti is between your thumbs, and hold. And then exhale, straighten your legs, forward fold. And then inhale again to chair pose. Soften around the sides of the neck, so try not to pinch the neck, draw the shoulder blades away a little. Exhale, forward fold. And then take your feet apart. We're going to come into Malasana, squat. So if you need, last week we used a block. If you find it hard on your knees, you can bring your bottom to the block, but you essentially want to take your feet, turn your feet out. You want your knees to track over your middle two toes, so that we're not like this or all awkwardly gone. And if you need to prop because you can't sink down too low, you can prop. You can also, if you're down, then bring your palms to your heart center. I'm going to see if this, lift your heels, so onto the balls of your feet. Does that help a little bit more? Yeah, so you're trying to lift your chest and sink your hips. And press the elbows into the inner thighs, so you feel the inner thighs stretching. And then from there, you're going to lift up, fingertips down, bring your feet parallel, come into chair pose. So drawing the knees back slightly, so we're not overstretching through the back of the calves. Draw the knees. And then inhale to stand. So building strength in the thighs and the hips is protecting knees, keeping healthy hips. So obviously if we have knee issues, then you need to modify, make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. But this essentially is helping to keep that fluid moving through the joints. Okay, front of the mat. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Take your feet into for squat. So even if it's a high squat, you want to feel the flexion in your hips. So just dropping the hips as low as you can. Sit here for a breath. And then inhale, bring your palms down, step back to down dog. And then roll forward into high plank. We're going to come down into low plank, so forearm plank. So if you need to drop your knees behind your hip, but come down onto your forearms. If you can, you'll have your knees lifted. If not, you'll drop them and then lower into Sphinx. So hips come down, elbows under shoulders, tops of feet press down. Inhale, come into Sphinx. Draw the chest forward. Squeeze your glutes, chin down. Then exhale, lying down, coming to locust. So this time locust, you're going to bring the inside edge of your feet together. Palms facing up. Inhale, lift into locust. So reach fingertips towards toes. Squeeze the inside edge of the feet together. And then exhale, set up for down dog. So palms beside ribs, tuck your toes under, lifting up into down dog. Then inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. You're going to lower the left heel, so feel into the calf. Press the floor away with your palms. And then bring your right foot all the way forward between your hands. So if you need to help it, take your hand to the back of the calf to bring the foot forward. Runner's lunge. So fingertips down, press the floor away. So rounding through the upper back, look forward. So you can not sinking onto that front thigh. Push through the back heel and squeeze that kneecap. And then exhaling, drop the back knee into low lunge. Flatten the foot. Coming up, bring the arms up, sink the hips forward and down. So when your weight is down on the mat, the front knee can come forward of the ankle. Reaching up, feel that length in the front of the left hip. Turn your gaze between your hands to look up between your hands. And then exhale, bring your palms together, elbows flare, press into the palms, draw in through your bandhas, lean forward. And then you're going to twist as best as you can towards the right. And then inhale, back to center. Chest comes back over hips. Again, lean forward, revolve, come back to center. Ooh, lifting up, one more. So making sure you're engaging, particularly Uddiyana bandhas, solar plexus, navel to spine, come back up. And then staying here, tuck your back toes under and seeing if you can lift into high lunge without using your arms. If you need to, you can press fingertips into the floor or come on the front, up on the front thigh, but seeing where you're at. Now straightening the back leg. Right knee now needs to stay over right ankle, not forward of it. Now you've got more weight coming through that front knee. So on the ball of the back foot. Okay, and now we're going to lean forward. This is your hamstrings and your glutes. You should feel in the front, that bent front leg. Pardon? Oh. Left palm down. Draw your navel in. Revolve to reach the right arm up. So you're turning towards the right thigh. Press through the back of the head so you're not letting the head sort of doing that. You want the neck in line with the spine, reaching up through top fingertips. And then exhale, come back to runner's lunge. Drop your left heel down. You're going to come up into warrior two. So now shuffle yourself so you're on the center line of your mat, sink through the right knee. Right knee stacks over right ankle. Arms go wide, so you're turning your chest to the side. Reach through the fingertips, look over the front hand. And make sure shoulders are stacked over hips, so we're not like this. And then inhale, straighten the front leg, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Draw up through the kneecaps, arms stay wide, reach forward and don't tip until you've gone as far as you can. Squeeze your kneecaps and then tip, cartwheel down so the back of the right hand against the shin. Turn your gaze to look up at the top hand, but draw the shoulders away from ears. And then inhale, coming back up, bring your hands to your hips, bend the right knee and move the foot across to the right slightly, come into high lunge. So you're rolling onto the ball of the back foot. And then step the left foot forward, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale all the way up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart, standing mountain. Close your eyes. Steady the breath. So drawing that yogic breath into the bottom of the lungs and letting the breath out slowly. Okay, and then opening your eyes, coming into pyramid pose. So with pyramid, you can either have your fists together or you can come into prayer pose. So press the palms together, but we're having an added chest opening, shoulder blade squeeze while we work on the legs. So now pyramid pose, you're going to step the left foot back, but only about half a foot. So separate the feet so they're hip distance apart. You're not on a tightrope. And then draw your hips level to the front of the mat and lift your kneecaps. And then you're going to hinge forward. So you want to turn the tailbone up, come to halfway. So your gaze goes down, press into the fists or the palms. Squeeze Uddiyana Bandha. And then either stay here or you can start curling in, reaching chin and chest towards the front shin, but keep the hips level. You don't want to let that right hip swing forward. So rolling the left hip forward and then out as you came in. So as you inhale, straight legs, squeeze the kneecaps, hinging upwards. Release the arms, step forward. So that's for your IT band. It's a good runner's stretch. Okay, other side. So right foot goes back, separate the feet. Whichever hand position you wanted. So draw the shoulder blades back, shoulder blades down, shoulders down. Squeeze kneecaps, hips level to the front, exhale, fold. So coming to halfway. And then if you can, you'll start to curl in through the core. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, step to the front of the mat. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, fingertips down. Take the left foot back. Come up into high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Thinking through that right knee, so right toes point forward. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale for triangle. Then inhale, lifting up, arms go wide, hands to hips. Move the right foot across, bend the knee. Roll onto the ball of the back foot for high lunge. Bring your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, lean forward. Left palm down, roll the right arm up. Exhale, runner's lunge. Step the left foot forward, come to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. So just taking a breath here, feeling into the hamstrings as you squeeze kneecaps. And then take the right foot back. So runner's lunge for a moment and then warrior two, come into high lunge, sorry. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Exhale, triangle. So roll the left buttock under slightly, feel your hips pressing to the side. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands to hips. Move the left foot over, come into high lunge. Arms up. And then hands to heart, lean forward. So keep that left knee stacked above the ankle. And then right palm down. Rolling, so turning from the navel, so draw the navel in, reaching up through the top hand. Exhale, runner's lunge. Step the right foot forward, come to chair pose. Exhale, fold. And then step the feet back, come into child's pose. So knees wide, toes touching, forehead, tip of the nose on the mat. Just relax the elbows down. Let the breath settle. Then activate your child's pose. Lift your elbows, straighten your arms, press your palms down. And then push your palms away from you. Feel that length in your spine. Forehead down. And lift your head slightly, walk your hands over to the right. Bring the left hand on top of the right hand. Settle the head down and then roll those left ribs gently up towards the ceiling slightly. Draw the left hip back. So get length in the left ribs. And then walk your hands back to center and across to the other side. Lift your head slightly. So all the way over. So right hand on top of left. Roll the right ribs up slightly. Press down through the palms. Draw the right hip back. And then inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, come to sit and bring your legs in front of you. You're going to lie back, knees bent, arms by your side. And then you're going to lift your legs up, push through your heels. So feel both thighs squeezing, draw your navel in, pelvic floor. So feel the lower back pressing down into the mat. And you want to keep that. And then you're going to slowly lower the right heel towards the mat and push the left foot as if you're stamping on the ceiling. And then change. Inhale, bring the right foot up. Exhale, lower the left leg down. Drawing back up. So using the breath and thinking of the bandhas. Keep the opposite leg strong and press the lower back down. And then bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest, little rock and roll there. And then lift the legs up again, but feel that you're using the arms. You can put your hands, clasp your hands behind your head, let the elbows go wide, but however, head and shoulders stay on the mat. But however you want to feel the shoulder blades are connecting to the mat. And then this time, you're going to point your toes, and then you're going to cross or alternate one leg in front of the other. So you'll press, use your banders, press the lower back into the mat. Okay, then hug your knees in. Then lift the legs up again. This time, same thing, but you're going to slowly lower the legs a little. If that's too much, you just stay with the crossing the legs, but with them, the feet pointing straight up. But if you can, you're going to keep crossing the legs as you lower towards the mat a little and then come back up. But wherever you're at, you want to keep the lower back pressing down, keep that connection to your core. And then bend your knees. Keep your knees bent, drop your feet to the mat. And then we'll do a flowing bridge. So have your heels under your knees, not right against your bottom. Arms by your side. And then as you inhale, draw the lower back down to the mat. Peel your hips up. And then lift straight arms all the way up and touch your hands down behind you. And then on the exhale, you're going to lower down through the vertebrae, hips down as you bring the arms back down by your side. So feel that rocking of your pelvis. Make sure as you come up, you're tilting the pelvis down onto the mat, engaging the core. So following your own breath. And then relaxing hips down. Hug your left knee in, straighten the right leg along the mat. And then draw the right knee. So right hand goes to the outside of the left knee and draw that left knee all the way across your body. So coming into a twist, and you can reach the left arm out to the side. Have you got a belt in? And then inhale. Do you need a belt? You've got one. You've got a belt. Okay. And then other side. And then come back to center. And you're going to hug your knees in, draw your core in. So you want to rock forwards and back 3 times. See if you can get all the way up to your shoulders. And then come to sit. I've given you all a belt. So we're going to stretch hamstrings, IT band, etc. So bring the strap, the middle of the strap, to the ball of your left foot. And then bring the strap into your left hand. So not too close to the foot. You want to be able to draw your shoulder blade down so it's touching the mat. And then you're going to draw a straight leg towards you. So push through the heel and then draw the leg towards you. So if you can't straighten the leg, you can keep a little bend in it, but you want to feel that you've got connection to your hamstring. You can feel it lengthening as you push through the ball of your foot, and then straighten the opposite leg along the mat. But keep that leg strong. So flex at the ankle, press the back of the thigh down. And then you're going to turn the left toe slightly out a little, and then take the leg out to the side. Right hand to the top of the right thigh to ground you. I'm going to help you here, if that's all right. Just feel into the inner thigh. And then you're going to use that inner thigh, push through the ball of the foot and bring the leg back up. Then change the strap to the right hand, same foot. And now draw the foot towards you again, trying to straighten the leg. And now you're going to take the left leg across your body, but just to the outside edge of the mat. So you feel into the outer hip. Okay, breathe into it. Use your exhale to try and soften. So just pausing where you can feel the outer hip. And then you can roll all the way over. So you can roll onto your right side and allow the foot to come down, relax. Okay. That's all right. Okay, and then using that out, this is your glute medius, the outer hip muscle. Press into the strap, the ball of the foot, and then bring the thigh back up. Bend the knee when you're lying on your back and release the strap. Well done. Other side. So strap around the ball of the foot. And then slight turn of the toes out, so that helps the femur revolve in the socket, and then bring the leg out to the side. Come here again. Yeah. Right, I'm going to help you there. So you can focus on your breath. And you can drop that right elbow down to help. You don't need to come all the way to the floor. Not a competition. And then use your inner thigh. Draw the leg back to center. Draw the foot towards your face a little. And now you're going to cross. Take the strap in your left hand and cross just to the other side of the mat. Feel into the outer hip. Relax your jaw, use your breath. And then you can roll all the way over into the twist. If it feels good, if it doesn't matter. You don't have to. And then inhale, use the outer hip, draw the leg back up, bend the knee, release the strap. And then feet flat on the floor, knock your knees together, just put the strap aside. Hands to your stomach, just let the breath settle. And then coming to windshield wipers. So knees bent, take your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Take your arms wide with your palms down, so it's shoulder height. And then roll your knees one way, turn your head the other, just dropping them. Keep your feet where they are. And inhale, head and knees back to center. And exhale, change sides. So just getting that healthy rotation through the hips. And then bring your knees back to center. Reach your arms overhead. And then straighten your legs. Push away with your toes, get nice and long. And then roll onto your right side and curl. Bring your knees in sort of hip height and stack knees and ankles. And you want to have, we did this last week, I think. So rest your head on your block. And then your right arm is going to be out at shoulder height with the palm facing up. And then we're going to do open book for the shoulders. So bring both arms straight, palms together. And then as you inhale, you're going to open wide to touch, try and touch the left shoulder down. Doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way, but get that nice rotation through the core. And then as you inhale, rolling back through the ribs and bring the palms back together. So gently, if you get more in a line, see how you'll slip. So you want your hips in line with your shoulders. That's back up. Yeah. So you don't need to move your hips, but if you need to rock them back a little, that's fine. Okay, and then inhale, rolling onto your back, and then turning onto the left side. Okay, and then we're going to come into Shavasana relaxation. So put your warm things on, jumper, socks,